JeffDanielsPoker asks, I'd love to hear about your view on bankroll management for tournaments, as a lot of people have different views.
So I'm not super well versed in the precise math behind bankroll management for tournaments, for cash games, whatever the case may be. What I can say is, there are calculators out there where you can look at, the level of variance that you're going to see, your expected win rate, how likely a big downswing is. And what I can say is that given that we all, for the most part, will overestimate our edge and underestimate how bad variance can be, I would always recommend you err on the side of caution by quite a bit. Now, the exception to this is actually what I've done oftentimes in my career, which is, when I was playing 5-10 no limit as my main game, I would occasionally, when there were good games, take a shot at 25-50 no limit or 50-100 no limit, which is much bigger. And I would do so. And if I lost 2-3 buy-ins, I would just step back down and go back to 5-10, consider it a failed, fun experiment. And for me, what that did is it allowed me to take advantage of good games. If I had a good run starting from that, then I would now be at a much higher stake level, kind of permanently, or hopefully permanently. But most of the time what would happen is I would lose and I would step back down. Now, I personally really liked, I felt that I was good enough for the bigger games, and I really liked I found it thrilling to take those shots. And so that was motivation for me when I stepped back down to 5-10 to work hard and grind it out and get enough of a cushion where I could try that again. It worked well for me. I think that for most people, it's not going to work. First of all, because when people step up, from 5-10 to 25-50, they lose $15,000. They're not going to want to go back and play 5-10 for, $1,000 at a time and not be able to make their money back for a long period of time, most likely. I, for some reason, never had an issue with that. So it worked well for me. The other reason that it might not be as good today is that, I did this back in 2005, 6, and there were good games kind of at every stake level. And so if I could, the 25-50 games that I was trying to play in were not any harder than the 5-10 games that I was playing in, for the most part. A little bit harder, but now, unless you're in a specific, private game setting or live poker setting where there are really good games at a stake that's a little bit too high for you, for the most part, as the stakes get higher, the games get tougher. And part of building up a bankroll at a certain stake before you're ready for the next is not just having the bankroll to withstand fluctuations at the higher stake. It's actually proving that you're good enough to beat the stake that you're at, so that you're ready to see if you're good enough to beat the next one. And again, we're going to overestimate how good we are. And so there's no substitute for a long period of proven results. So with all that said, I do think for a select few of you, some selective shot taking might work well. I think for 90% of you or more, it would not be a good idea, and you should stick to playing very comfortably within your means until you've, first of all, got the bankroll to move up higher and take a few bad days or a few bad weeks and still be okay mentally, and have proven to yourself, despite what you may think, and like maybe you already know that you're beating this game, but let the results show you as well before you step up. One other aspect of bankroll management that I think is way underappreciated is, let's say I'm playing with a bankroll that is a little bit smaller than I should have for this game. And actually, there's not really a clear definition. I'm going to get to what the definition is now. So let's say I'm playing with 100 buy-ins to a cash game. Like I have 100 buy-in bankroll. And when I go on a 15 buy-in downswing, I'm really upset. It's just a large enough portion of my net worth that I'm devastated, and I can't focus well, I can't play well, and I end up either playing poorly or taking a week or two off to recover. Now what I've done is not only put myself through emotional stress and pain, but I've lost more money, whether it's through playing poorly and losing expected value, or needing to take 2 weeks off and losing the opportunity to grind out a living during those weeks. And had I played half the stakes, maybe my win rate per hour is lower, but maybe when I have a losing period, I don't kind of fall apart. I continue to play well. I don't take those 2 weeks off. And all of that time playing well and playing adds up to a higher win rate, not to mention just, happier life overall.
Here's a question from Philip. What are the books on your shelf?
So I'm actually, I can answer. I don't really feel like answering. The truth is I've probably read 6 books as an adult in my life. And so the books up there I have not read, with the exception of The Biggest Bluff by Maria Konnikova. I've read probably 35% of. I occasionally think that I'm going to read a book, and so I buy some. But thus far, I've been wrong almost every time.